a broader economic question. We now, for the first time in a long time, are facing the risk of both slow growth and renewed inflation at the same time. Which of those strikes you as the greater risk at this moment, and how would you balance those risks in applying policy?
Well, I think that the big problem that we've got right now is that because of the housing crisis, because of the contraction of the financial markets, the economy is slowing down rapidly. At the same time as we've got some shocks primarily having to do with oil and other commodities. If we can get the financial markets stabilized, if we can implement the kind of housing plan that I've called for, where borrowers and lenders are both having to make some sacrifices, but we're keeping people in their homes, and there's a bottom where the credit markets say we know what we're investing in. That, I think, can help businesses that have good business plans and are making good products and providing good services. That can get them back on their feet. If the credit markets are flowing, that puts less pressure on the Fed to constantly lower interest rates, and that in turn will allow us to not only see the dollar strengthen, but it can also make certain that over time these inflationary pressures are ones that the Fed can deal with, and that's obviously been their primary job over the last several years.
Taxes are clearly going to be a big issue in the campaign. McCain's attacked you on that front. You do have tax cuts that you've talked about for seniors, for homeowners and others.
Right.
But you would, on net, raise taxes to improve the level of fiscal responsibility, as you've talked about, higher taxes for capital gains, for dividends, for carried interest, for high-income Americans.
Right.
You embraced a lot of those policies when the economy was stronger than it is now.
Yeah.
Even if you think those are a good idea substantively, is there reason, because of the situation we're in, to delay the implementation of any of those to avoid having a negative effect on job creation?
Well, there's no doubt that any policies I implement are going to be based on the economic situation that I inherited from George Bush. One of the things I believe in is a manager of the economy is you should base your decisions on facts and not ideology. And so even if I'm predisposed to a certain set of policies, I'm going to want to see what's going on at the moment and ask a wide range of viewpoints from business leaders.
So you could see the possibility of deferring some of those?
Some of those you could possibly defer. But I think the basic principle of restoring fairness to our economy and encouraging bottom-up economic growth is important. So here's what we know. We know that over the last decade or so, that more than half of the economic growth has been captured by the top 1% of U.S. citizens. That means the other 99% have seen their effective incomes go down. That is not a recipe for long-term economic growth. And so if we, in fact, are putting more money into the pockets of the middle class, if consumers feel some confidence because their bills are actually adding up at the end of the month and they can pay for them, that's going to, over the long term, be good for business. That's going to be good for the markets. That's going to be good for Wall Street. And I think that we've had an economy that's been out of balance for too long. So the general principle of raising taxes on higher income Americans like myself and providing relief to those who haven't benefited as much from this new global economy, I think is a sound one. And keep in mind, on all of these proposals, what I've said is let's make sure that we define the well-off so that we're not hitting the middle class. I generally define well-off as people who are making $250,000 a year or more. And that means, for example, if we raise the capital gains tax, I would exempt people who are essentially small investors and really capture those who have done very, very well over the last 2 decades.